My hands were shaking as I opened the door outside. 3 police cars, an animal control van, and a CPS worker stood there, representing my worst nightmare. The lead officer's words felt like ice picks to my heart. "Ma'am, we've received reports of child neglect, child endangerment, and a dangerous animal attack." Behind me, my entire world, my daughter, Emma, was curled in a corner of the living room, buried under her weighted blanket, noise-canceling headphones blocking everything out. Buddy, her loyal golden shadow, was pressed against her, guarding, his body still humming with adrenaline. And in her driveway, Karen stood, phone held high, live streaming to her Facebook group, a look of self-righteous satisfaction on her face. "I have cameras," I said immediately, my voice steadier than I expected. "I installed cameras because of previous issues. Everything is recorded." That got everyone's attention. The lead officer, his name tag said, Officer Miller, raised an eyebrow. "You have footage of the incident?" "Yes," I said, pointing to the discreet device under the eave. "Front and backyards? The angles are good." Our group, Officer Miller, the CPS worker, a stern-faced woman named Miss Williams, and the animal control officer, moved into the shade of the porch. Karen craned her neck to see, but was politely held back by another officer at my property line. I pulled out my phone, opened the security app, my fingers fumbling. Finding the right file felt like an eternity. Then we watched. The high-definition video told the story without sound. There was Emma, her small form peaceful in the morning light, arranging her colored toys, creating her silent rainbows. Buddy sat beside her like a golden statue. Then Karen appeared. The footage clearly showed her climbing the fence that separated our yards, not coming through the gate. She held her phone up like a weapon. We saw Emma's body go rigid, her carefully arranged patterns disrupted by the intruder's shadow. We saw Buddy move, not to attack, but to position himself, letting out 3 short, sharp alert barks before placing his body between Emma and Karen. We saw Emma melt down, her hands hitting her own head, pulling her hair, a portrait of agony no parent should ever see. We saw myself rush into the frame, face frantic, scooping Emma up, her little legs kicking in the air. We heard me yell, "Get out of my yard!" and Karen scream in response, "It is attacking me, rabid dog!" Even though the footage clearly showed Buddy hadn't even bared his teeth, his entire focus on his distressed little girl. Finally, we watched Karen back away, still filming, then climb back over the fence. The playback ended, silence on the porch. The only sound was Karen's muffled, excited whispering into her phone mic in the distance. "They're reviewing the evidence now." Officer Miller let out a long breath and turned to Miss Williams and the animal control officer. The animal control officer, a man named Carter, had already closed his clipboard. "Clearly no attack behavior," Carter said flatly. "The dog displayed trained intervention, pretty standard service dog protocol. Actually no grounds for further action." Miss Williams nodded, her gaze shifting from my phone to the house, where Emma and Buddy were. "Based on this footage, Miss Karen was the trespasser, and the one who precipitated the incident. I see no indication of neglect or danger. On the contrary," she added, a hint of warmth entering her voice, "the dog is clearly a vital communication tool and safety measure. I will not be opening an investigation." I felt my knees go weak, a wave of relief so strong it almost drowned me. It was then that Karen could no longer contain herself. "What are you doing?" she shrilled, marching across the lawn boundary until Officer Miller held up a hand to stop her. "Didn't you see? That child is in danger. That dog?" "Ma'am," Officer Miller cut her off, his voice like cold steel. "Based on the footage we just reviewed, you trespass, caused significant distress to a disabled child, and filed a false report. You are the one facing potential charges." Karen's face flushed red, then white, then a sickly gray. "Charges? Me? I was just a concerned citizen. I was documenting a dangerous situation." "You were documenting yourself committing a crime," Miss Williams added calmly, pulling out her own phone. "And I believe your social media live stream documented you interfering with an official investigation. That may have consequences." The next hour was a blur. The officer spoke with Karen in her driveway. Her phone